Elevation Nation. We got a first for you. To say I'm excited would be an understatement. We have on tonight the Elevation Nation podcast, Yuval Teren. And I'm going to say right now that he is the first and only human mind reader of the IDF, Israeli Defense Force. So not only do we get to talk to him about that, but he also is going to talk to us about how we perceive and create our own realities, which I think is important to all of us in our 20s as we try to figure out who the heck we are. We're battling through a pandemic and trying to figure out what our new reality is going to be like. So there's no better guest to help guide Elevation Nation through the process of our reality than this man here tonight. Yuval, welcome to Elevation Nation, man. We are so hyped to talk with you.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. The English. Oh my God.
That's okay.
All right. It's a very great honor to be here because you two, I've heard some of your podcasts and it's fascinating. You're doing something amazing.
I love to hear it. And like Sam, I am so excited to have this conversation. You know, we have conversations every week. And I'm not saying Elevation Nation at the last 122 conversations or whatever weren't good. But tonight, today, whenever you're listening, I'm excited for this one because I want my mind to be blown. I love getting my mind blown. It's just, who doesn't? Some people don't, but I'm definitely on that side of liking getting my mind blown. But let's get it started, Yuval. It is Elevation Nation, which means that you have to give an elevator pitch. Who are you? We want to know.
Who am I? So my name is Yuval Teren. I used to serve in the army as the first IDF mind reader. I'm an executive coach and a mentalist and a human analyst. And basically what I do is to analyze people very good, which means that whatever you think right now, I know. So make sure you keep thinking good things. And I was born into a family of magicians. Long story short, I was born into a family of magicians. And since I remember myself, I'm standing on stage performing in magic shows. And I started to explore the psychology world of magic. And this is how I saw that I'm very good in understanding people. And later on, I did also I studied hypnosis and I did practitioner in NLP, which stands for neuro-linguistic programming, which is how to program our mind to get the results we want, and a master NLP practitioner and guided imagery practitioner. And I'm lecturing today for executives and for big companies in Israel and currently here in the US. And this is a little bit about me, but we're going to go.
It's incredible. No, we're going to go deeper.
We're going to go
that
deeper.
It's quite the start that you had. You know, some of us in the Jewish community, specifically in the U.S., you know, were born to families of doctors or lawyers or businessmen. I'm sure it's similar in Israel. And you were born into a family of magicians, man. So let's talk about that for a minute. That's a very unique reality to be born into. What was it like growing up with your family performing all the time and you performing? I've seen pictures of you, man. Little newspaper clippings of tiny itty bitty Yuval performing at like probably what, 10 years old?
10 years old. I'm standing on stage since I am 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, for a long time. And imagine like a kid who born into a family that does the impossible. So for me as a little kid, I understood always that it's possible to do the impossible because magic creates something from nothing. And all of those things, I started to apply them in life to achieve my goals. And for example, if I wanted to go, I'm running a little bit forward in time. Before I went to the army, there was no such thing as IDF First Mind Reader. And it's something that I had a set of skills that I really wanted to do and use in the army. And it's something that I offered to the army, and they decided to take it. And my service was a fascinating service where I went all around the bases in Israel. I both had the privilege and a great honor to speak for high-ranked officers, for soldiers in the borders, to coach and to do motivational shows. And this is basically how it starts. Everything started from the ability to understand that it is possible to do the impossible. We are capable for more.
So growing up, I mean, what was like, is there a moment that comes out, like there an instant you're like, whoa, like this clicked, like my family, they're all magicians, but for me, I can do it as well. Was there a particular moment growing up where you had this switch and then which led you to double down on the thing that you love and then take that all the way through the IDF, but then afterwards, of course, that's what you do now? Anything in particular come to mind?
There is no like one moment that I said this is it, because it's a small parts of a big picture, of a bigger picture, but I can think about at the beginning it was more like a hobby that grew big. And became the only thing that I'm doing.
That's special though, Yuval, right? Like I think for a lot of us and a lot of Elevation Nation out there, just to paint the picture for you, it's a lot of young people like your cousin, just graduating college, not necessarily certain what they want to do. And for you from such a young age to be able to find a passion and a hobby and to be able to turn that into a profession and a career is, I don't want to say lucky because you earned it and you worked your tuchus off for that, but like it's rare. And that's incredible. I think a lot of people listening to Elevation Nation are trying to figure out ways where they can take their reality that they've been given, right? Parents are doctors, expected to be lawyers, went to business school, now are in the corporate and professional world, but maybe it's not a passion for them. And they're looking for ways to slightly alter their reality and allow them to open up their mind to other ways to maybe make money or other ways to be happy. So I love that your story is rooted in this, little bit of luck, a little bit of hard work, kind of fostered this new reality for you that now you're living every day. I mean, you're in Miami, putting on shows, traveling the world. It's a pretty incredible life you're living. So congrats to you, man. Awesome.
Thank you. So it's all about those little things. Definitely.
So let's talk about the IDF then. Let's say, we talked about what got you to the IDF, and they were like, oh,
yeah,
Yuval, he wants to be the first IDF human mind reader. So what was that experience like? Obviously, your experience was going to be very different for many of those who served in the IDF. Is there a particular instant experience that you want to share with Elevation Nation?
Actually, in the Army, I went also through like basic training and everything, and I did through my service, like guarded little places and trained with gun and everything, like everything that a soldier do. But the special thing that was in it was what I did, all the motivational shows and speaking and coaching. And I would say that it doesn't matter what I discovered through my service. It doesn't matter if I was at the beginning of my service or near the end of my service. I spoke with a lot of high-ranked officers, and you see that it doesn't matter if you're a soldier, you're a high-ranked officer, executive, it doesn't matter on which place you're currently standing, our mind works the same. And we all have the same fears. We all have the basic of them are all the same fears, same principles, that when we understand how to manage and control it, we can shift the way we think, we can shift the way our life looks like. We can do improve our everyday life.
You're speaking, this is exactly what Parker and I truly believe as well. So this is our language right here, Yuval, because we built this, company around your mindset. And that's what we thought was missing for young people in the real world, which was this, what we call mental fortitude. Not sure what that is in Hebrew. We're going to have to look that up. But this concept of knowing who you are, knowing what you want, your vision, and being able to hold yourself accountable to get there, we thought those kind of three pieces helped you be able to tweak your mindset a bit and change your reality. So I want to get into what you just said, which is everyone has these same fears, which I know people are probably listening out there like, no way, Yuval, I'm scared of spiders, or my cousin's scared of height, right? Like, okay, fine, I get it. But at our core, what are these common fears that everybody has?
Usually the common fears that people has is the fear that we are not good enough. This is one of the most dominant fears that people has, and they are not aware of it. They say a lot of other things that cover this thing, but at the core, this is one of the main things. And I would say that I will add something. There is a methodology that today I am coaching through that methodology, HMA, that a methodology that I created, and I saw that there are certain spots that create a bigger shift in people's life. And it's HMA, the initials HMA, H for happiness, M for mind, and A for action. And if you'll split those three things, we're going to call it happiness on demand, mind on demand, and action on demand. Why on demand? Imagine yourself a VOD, where you sit on TV, you can choose, you hold the remote control, and you can choose a movie that you like to watch. If you want to have a great time and laugh, you're going to put a funny movie, a comedy movie. If you want to feel like a bit more serious, and you're going to put some action movie. So you can change the way you feel by choosing the movie that you like. And our mind works the same. We choose the channels that we want to feel. But the problem is that most of the people take their remote control and give it to other people. And after that, they blame other people for making them angry, depressed, sad. They're saying, for example, I had a terrible day. My manager yelled at me. He made me so angry. And he wakes up the morning after that and he's going angry to work. His function at work lowers drastically. His motivation is really down, and the day goes by. And after a few days, maybe he goes out of it, but after 2 days, it happens again. So we have to remember to hold our remote control in our hands and use it to shift our mind. And how can we do it? Because it sounds very big, and we say, all right, it's nice to think about it as a TV and a remote control, but how do I do it? How do I change the channels? So actually, it's easier than we think, because our emotion influenced a lot by our thoughts. So if we go to the happiness part, happiness, HMA, happiness influences our mind, and it both, it's like there is a synergy and energy that runs between all of those points. So if we're happy, if we have a happy life, and we are waking up in the morning and we are feeling great and we are blessed for waking up, sometimes people forget to say thank you for being here in the world, and they have the ability to change. And we have to remember, as long as we are here in the world and we are waking up, we have the ability to change the outcomes that we have in our life. So our happiness influences our mind, our thoughts, and our thoughts basically influences our actions. Our actions is the physical thing. What we do with our body at the end. For example, a small thing that you can see right now. If I'll ask you to be sad, so right now, try to be sad. What happens to your body? The shoulders shoulders go down, the lips want to like an opposite smile to the other way. But if let's try this. Put your shoulders straight up, chin up, and just for a moment, I'm not gonna be sad about it. Don't look at me. Look straight. Look just straight, and put a smile on your face. And right now, try to be sad. Try to be sad right now.
With the smile on our face?
Right? It's impossible.
Yeah.
Your mind says, how can I be sad? It's something here doesn't work. It feels fake. And this is what we have to remember. Our body language, also our actions, also influences our mind and influences our happiness. It works for all the directions. And we have to remember that sometimes we want to change our body language when we feel angry, depressed, unmotivated. A little trick that we can take the remote back is to sit straight, chin up, look straight, put a smile on your face. There is the sentence, fake it till you make it. It's definitely that. Our brain doesn't know how to, your brain doesn't say you're faking it. Your brain just feels good because you've straightened up your body language. You put a smile on your face, and we have to remember that. And it's kind of a little bit, a small trick that you can do that will change your emotion immediately.
I love it. I mean, how many times throughout a day when, you just are you're just doing, you're going through the motions and you forget about the things that you can actually take a grasp on and control. I mean, the way you put it like that, I'm thinking myself earlier today, I was in a meeting and I was just like not about it. It was boring. I wasn't interested. And then I got called on, like I was asked a question and the way I responded was in like a depressed tone. And my manager was like, "Are you okay, Parker? I've never heard you talk that way." And in that moment, I was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah." I had to take a step back. I was slouched over. I hadn't gotten up from the chair in 2 hours. My glass of water was empty. The sun wasn't beaming in, and there's all these different things that in that moment I was like, "Oh my God!" It really like. She knew, but I wasn't on camera. She didn't see me, but she heard from the tone of my voice. And I just thought that was so interesting, the way you were bringing Elevation Nation through that, because that literally happened to me today. But it makes so much sense.
That's an amazing example for that. Definitely. Our brain, the way we speak, the way we move, influences the way we feel, and the other way, the way we feel influences the way we speak. So we have to change one of it, either our thoughts or either the body language that will change our thoughts. There is also ways to change our thoughts, our mind, special techniques to do it. And this is one of the things that also when I coach, there are mind techniques to change the program of our mind, to change the way our mind works, our mind thinks, to create different results.
So before we get into a little bit of that, Yuval, because I'm smiling. It was hard for me to frown in that moment because I'm loving everything you're saying. It's so fascinating to me that the human mind, this extremely complex system of firing neurons, right? Super complex, the smartest supercomputer in the world. We ourselves can outsmart it. We can trick it.
How complex it is,
right?
We can trick it.
Exactly, right? Like there are ways around, and this is why, and I wanted to take a second to call this out because I know there are a lot of people in different situations that are listening to Elevation Nation that might be going through a hard time. They might hate their job. They might have just had a breakup. They might be depressed, whatever it may be, right? And I get what you all are thinking because I have been there myself. So I am empathizing with you that sometimes you hear these motivational people like me and Parker and Yuval who are saying, you know, do something simple, start small, drink a glass of water, step outside, change your posture. And you're like, bullshit, man. Like, I'm going through hard stuff. My life's tough. There's no way that small thing can work. Well, guess what? Our brains can be tricked, right? So why not try? just try one of these small tips that Parker and Yuval just shared with you and see if for a split second you feel a little bit happier. Because that little bit will then continue to grow and grow and grow. So I love the fact that something so small like sitting up straight and changing your posture can truly change how you actually feel. So I'm all for tricking our brain. Just like we go to the gym, I think we need to put in work on our minds as well to make sure that we live our most happy and fulfilled life. So that's incredible.
Definitely. And there is something amazing that Steve Jobs said in one of his lectures. And he said that he used to wake up every morning and ask himself if what he about to do today, if he would do the things that he would do today. Yeah, the sentence was right. And if the answer for too many days were no, he knew he had to change something. Because he remembered that life has a limit. We're not going to live forever. We have, 80, 90, 100 years. For the lucky ones, maybe a little bit after. But we have a limit. And we have to remember that. And it's a good thing. It's a balance in life. And it keeps us motivated to do more in a shorter amount of time. But we have to focus ourselves. What do we want to do in this amount of time?
I think it's awesome everything you're talking about, Yuval, because it's something Sam and I continuously talk about on our podcast is the thing that is really challenging with, let's say, controlling your reality, controlling the way you go about your life, is that it's hard. It's hard to get over that fear. It's hard to push yourself outside that comfort zone. And it's really funny that we're having this conversation because I'm actually reading a book right now called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. And she talks about principles that you're literally talking about right now. And just like one specific thing from that book that I think about when I'm reading it and what she talks about is that at the end of the day, everything that happens to you in a given day, everything you feel, everything you hear, the way you go about your life, you're the only one to take to blame for everything. And the way you go about it, if something bad happens, if you're upset about something, if you're unhappy with the way you're sitting at your desk all day for 8 hours, at the end of the day, the only person that's going to feel sorry for you is you. And to get out of that is you got to overcome that fear and that comfort, essentially, that is keeping you there. Because life is pretty good on the other side of the comfort zone when you overcome a fear. And then what's great about that is you get over that hump, and then there's a new fear. But you're already now elevating up. You're elevating to a new place.
Definitely.
I just think it's such an interesting concept that we all deal with on a daily basis. Everyone lives with fear, but everyone deals with fear differently.
And if you think about it, fear, it's basically a perspective. Because for some of the people, they call it fear. For example, jumping from a plane and do a parachute.
Skydiving, yep.
Skydiving, yeah. To do jump from plane, do skydiving. For some people, they say, "Oh my God, I fear from that. There is no way I'm going to do it." And some people say, "Oh my God, it's exciting. I love it. I'm going to do it again." To be honest, I did skydiving a few months ago, and it was an amazing experience. It was fun. But the moment that you really feel the fear, you go on the plane and you go up. And I chose the highest
altitude.
The highest altitude, yeah. The highest altitude, and it was 14,000 feet. And I'm sitting on the plane. I'm the last one in a row. We're all sitting on the plane. And the first one jumped. The second one jumped. We were around 5 people over there, 6. They all jump. And the airplane keeps going up. And I'm the only one left. I'm sitting at the edge of the plane, looking down, and I'm saying to myself, "Oh shit, what I did." But then we just jump down, we jump off the plane, and for a split second, your brain feels like, shit, I'm gonna be dead. That's it. But after this split second, you feel amazing. You just fly, and you are having the best time of your life. And we have to remember that fear is a small part that when we just overcome the fear, we have a great time. We enjoy more. We expand our limits in life.
I think that's so cool. Yuval, it's so funny because I speak publicly a lot, whether that's in meetings. Sam and I do public speaking. I've done public speaking ever since I was young. I hate public speaking, but the one thing I love about public speaking is that when I get over that first 10 seconds and all the nerves that led up to that moment, the night that I didn't sleep before, and I get to that first 10 seconds and I realize that people are listening and it's going to be okay, then I love it. It's great. There's such an energy rush because I got over that fear, and then you end and you're like, wow, that was so much better than it could have been. Granted, sometimes I've botched and it's terrible and miserable and makes the next time even more difficult. But there's just something about the idea, like you just talked about, jumping out of an airplane, the first 10 seconds, or probably less in an airplane. First second, you're scared shitless. And then there's something about realizing that you're just going to be okay. Like, things are going to work out. Regardless if you do terribly or not, it's going to work out. Maybe on an airplane, it's a little bit more finite. You're either alive or you're not. But
it's true. And Parker, we were supposed to go skydiving together, so we're going to have to do that again at some point because Parker was sick and was not able to attend with me. But Yuval, I'm with you.
Always he's doing the sick trick.
Yeah, exactly. Trust me. I gave him enough shit. He had a stuffy nose.
No, my
and he
ear
bailed.
was clogged with like mucus. It was like rushing out the side.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I agree. It is a crazy feeling when you can get over that fear and finally do it. I had the privilege of doing it with my younger brother, who is a skydive instructor and is crazy. And it was incredible, right? To face that fear and, again, alter your reality a bit. And I want to talk about that for a second, a bit more, because it's so critical to who you are and what you do and what I really want to focus on for the show, which is our reality. And fear is one major part of your reality. What other aspects of our realities is something that we can work on or improve or alter ourselves?
Definitely. I would say that fear is kind of a main thing that influences a lot of things in our life. So
it's like fight or flight. It's like in our DNA almost.
Definitely. And I'll take the fear, and I'm going to say that the way we can change the way we perceive things by changing how we call them. For example, if we say to ourselves, a person that always say to himself that he is a very stressed person, he will be stressed because he designed every day his mind, maybe not every day, but he designed his mind, he's programming his mind to be stressed. He says, I am stressed. This is who I am. I am stressed. We have to change it. It's not who we are. It's the way we behave. Stress basically change our behavior in some way. For example, our body language will be, our shoulders will fall down. Maybe our hand will tap on the table. Our breathing will be shorter breathing. We're going to breathe faster, and we're going to look probably down. And some trick that you can, I'll share with you. When we look down with our eyes, we are having, if you'll think about it, when you speak with yourself, you're going to look down. So if we look at people and see that they are looking down, we know that right now they're having a conversation with themselves in their mind. Just I think that you can check later. It's fun to know that. And then when you tell to someone, what are you thinking about right now? What is the decision that you have in mind right now? They say, they will share it immediately with you because it was just you caught them on the moment that they were thinking of it. So some small thing. But where was I? I jumped into another thing. So basically,
no, it's okay. Yeah. Go ahead, keep going.
But yeah, it's definitely the way that we perceive the fear. So don't call it fear, call it a different name. For example, instead of I am stressed, say I'm feeling a little bit stressed right now, but later it's gonna be better. I'm getting better right now. I'm breathing slower and I'm straightening my body language, and just allow yourself to release the fear. It's not going to be there for long if you release it. Don't focus on the fear. Focus on what do you want to feel. Change your
something that I think is fascinating about these tools and these tricks that we have to change our reality and change our perception of our fear is a lot of them come back to like these basic human instincts, right? Like fear at its core was created, like the release of our different hormones and glands and our heart rate increasing and adrenaline pumping, that was to protect us from danger, right? And survival. So going back to DNA, I'm reading a history book right now, so I'm kind of into this stuff, right? So going back to that, that's the root of the fear. And some of the tricks, Yuval, that you've shared with us, they are tricks that are so basic because they help alleviate those fears. So Parker and I are big proponents of drinking a shit ton of water, right? When you are feeling stressed, hydrate. That's one. That gets rid of your fear of dehydration, right? Maybe you are stressed and you're hungry. Eat a healthy snack. That gets rid of your fear of starvation, right? Take a deep breath and slow your breathing. That decreases your fear of running out of oxygen, drowning, whatever it may be, right? Like there's all these small tricks that we can do ourselves right now that overrides our stupid old caveman brain and brings it into the modern society with these small little tricks.
Can I chime in? Definitely. Can I chime in here though? There's something that the cavemen never had. There's something that people didn't have for thousands and thousands of years though. Totally. And that's comparing themselves to others whenever they want. And I think we're living in a day and age where it's never going away at this point. We compare ourselves more to others more than any time in the history of the world because we're so connected. And our body and the brain are probably freaking out like naturally, like there's just like, oh, I want to be like this person. I want to be like this person. But, oh, wait, I'm not like this person. And it's just a continuously, it's just this continuous thing like, oh, I'm just sitting here. I'm just working, but that person's doing that or this person's doing that. And I think it's a challenge. It's a big challenge. And I think a lot of people are struggling with not trying to compare. It's almost hard not to compare yourself to other people today in day and age.
Definitely. Comparing ourselves to others, it could be good and also bad because we don't need to compare. We need to say, oh my God, this person is doing something amazing. Instead of say, he's doing it before me, or how is he so successful? I hate him. Instead, try to realize what he did. How did he do it? And you will figure out that there is a way that this person did it. And you can do it too. You have to find a way. Instead of hate, appreciate. So this is also the way we perceive things. When we hate someone, we feel the hate. I hate someone. I had on one of my trips, I met a fascinating guy. He's actually a Buddhist from Taiwan. And he told me this. The problem to all of life problem, to the main core of all life problem is the I as the letter, me. Because when you say I am angry, I am depressed, I am sad, it's me. It's all speaking about me. I'm not looking outside. I don't care about other people. All I see is me. And we want to stop look only at ourselves, and we want to look outside the box. We want to see other people. We want to hear what other people feel. We want to feel also with more compassion to other people. And when we open ourselves, as clear as it sounds, we open ourselves to other, we feel better because something really opened. We hear that all the problems are the same. Maybe the story is a bit different, but the core of the problems are the same, and we can solve it together with changing hate to love.
It's beautiful. It's those little things, right?
It's definitely those.
And it goes back. It's like inherent within us. I don't think, hopefully not, that humans are born hating other people, right? We want to love. We want to be open. We want to accept people. And that probably goes back to when we were caveman again, right? Like, in order to survive, we needed to cooperate with other people, right? We needed to work together. Communities were built, towns were built, religions were formed, right? Like, all of these things keep coming back to these inherent, like, in our soul, basic needs that we have, which I think is really interesting.
Well, I was going to say, it was either be part of the community or just get killed, back then, Sam.
You said something.
Yeah.
You said something very accurate. We have to work with other people to get results. We are not alone in the world, and we born communicative. What do I mean by that? We have mouth, we have ears, we have body. So, and we have tone of voice. We are communicative animals. And we have to remember that we have the ability to do it. We only need to understand how to do it better, how to improve those small things so we can improve our life, because the way we communicate changes the perspective of our life. And what do I mean by that? For example, if you have a manager, and I'm giving the example of a manager because it's something that relates to a lot of people, and a lot of people that I work with, it connects to this field. And for example, if you have a manager and the manager demands something from you, but you feel from the manager, because of the tone he said it, you feel that he don't care about you. He doesn't give you enough. He doesn't care about you. He don't really like you, maybe. And you go back home, and because of the way the manager said it, he said, instead of, hey, can you help me with this, this, and this? Can you do this, this, and this? He said, hey, do this, this, and this. He only changed his voice. And the way we translated it is a different way than what he wanted to say. So we have to remember, sometimes people say things, but they don't mean to what they say. We have to understand, to read between the lines. We don't need to take everything to our heart and be sad about it. We have to just understand that people are humans, and we can feel sad and we can feel angry, and it's fine. We don't want to feel it for a long time because it's going to be not very useful to us. So I want to shift out from that state as quick as possible, but it's fine to be there. It's fine, and shift to a better state, a better feeling. Use the body language, use your tone of voice. If you'll speak more quiet and slower and more down, it's different vibe than I will speak up and use my body language, and you feel a different energy when I speak. So we have to remember, the way we speak changes our emotion, and stop taking other people words as the way that you interpret them. Interpret it the way you want to feel. He said it because, I don't know, he had a bad day. Say to yourself, he told me that because he had a bad day. Let me help him so he can feel better. It makes the whole situation much easier and you don't go back home and feel sad.
So Yuval, I heard this saying over the weekend, and I'm curious what you think about it. My friend said to me, and I was just like, whoa, that was awesome. It's not what you say that people remember. It's the way you make them feel. What do you think about that?
I definitely, it's an accurate sentence. I always say it's not what we say, it's how we say it. And the way that we say things actually influence people's emotions. And if we go a little bit about the psychology of how we work, it's 55% of our influence in communication. It comes from our body language, 38% from our tone of voice, and only 7% from our words.
Wow. How do they know that? How is that even possible?
So it means the crazy thing is that 93% of what we are saying doesn't come out of our mouth at all. So it's how we say things. We want to make sure that we use our body language the right way that we want to deliver the message. And the way we deliver a message, people take it in a different way. So we want to deliver the message correctly. And this is what I work with people on, how to deliver their message to the world, to other people in a better way so they can influence them in a better way. They can get better results. It's all about how we deliver the message.
And it changes the reality. It changes the reality of the people you're speaking to, right? As you're shifting your voice and your tone, you can change how they perceive you. And so I think that goes both internally and externally. And that's a beautiful cyclical way to wrap up that thought is not only can you work on your perception and your reality for yourself, but you can also improve how other people see you and feel you and the emotions that they have when they interact with you. So it is more in your control than you think, Elevation Nation. You know, we have a lot of control on our perceptions of the world and our own realities. And I think you just single-handedly dropped the mic and showed us how to do it, man. That was awesome.
Well, the only person who, I only know my reality and the way I perceive the world, and I have no idea how you perceive the world, and I can't influence you to the point where your perception of the world is changing, unless of what I'm just being to you, Sam. You know what I mean? So we do have a lot of control, I feel like, in that regard.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, Yuval, I'm not going to lie. I watched a ton of your content on Instagram, even the ones in Hebrew that I couldn't understand, of you performing all around the world. Some of your hypnosis and your mentalist and human analyst work. And it is the coolest stuff I've ever seen. So I know you probably can't hypnotize me over a computer, but whenever you are in DC, please come and hypnotize me because I think what you do is incredible.
I will come soon to DC. I will be in few weeks over there.
Deal.
And we'll do a video. We'll do something, and
I would love that. We will do it. Drinks on me.
Also after with the people.
That's perfect. All right, Elevation Nation in a couple
also
weeks.
In New York.
And in New York. We're going to do both. You're going to hypnotize Parker and you're going to hypnotize me. We're going to make some videos out of it. That is absolutely incredible. And your perception and perspective on life and reality has been so spot on with, I think, how Parker and I see the world. And I appreciate you sharing that with us. I want to hop in to a couple more sections so you can get out and enjoy your night in Miami here. So we'll wrap up shortly. I want to ask you our rapid fire questions here. So quick answers on some of these. I want to first start with, what is the most interesting place you've performed at?
The most interesting place. Wow, that's a tough question.
I know.
I'll tell you, I would say that in my army service, I went to places that I would never experience if I did not serve in the army. If I wasn't serving in the army, I would never experience those places. And if it's to speak and perform for 10 soldiers on the border on a mountain after a long drive, over there and stay with them over there, and we keep speak after the show, and it's hard to choose one because there are so many different places. Some of it could be an event that I did in Israel. It's called Program Your Mind to Success, which is basically, it was a ticket selling event that I did until I came here, not back. And it also was amazing with dancers and DJ and a lot of hype and amazing energy. So it's hard for me to choose one place because there are so many different places.
That's fair. It's like picking your favorite kid, I think, for parents. It's a hard question. Totally get it.
Well, there'll be many more places, and maybe in the next, we'll reconnect in 20 years. Maybe we'll ask you the same question. Maybe there will be one. You're just like, this was it.
I hope that you will not reconnect only in 20 years.
Oh yeah, no, that's just going to be after the many times in between, Yuval. So I got another rapid fire question for you. What is one thing that people don't know about you that would surprise them?
I would say that the most surprising thing that in my core, if we separate people into different kinds of people, if we analyze people to different kind of communication way, I am tending in my core to more of a quiet person.
More of an introvert.
Yeah, more of an introvert, which will surprise a lot of people because my job is to speak, stand on stage, and you see me on stage, and I perform, and I go big, and I speak. When I speak, I really like, but it's not that I'm a different person. It allowed me to listen more to people, because people who are more introverted, it's not that there is good or bad. There is more introverted or extroverted. Usually the extroverted are people who listen less and speak more. People who are introverted listen more and speak less. So it allowed me to learn a lot and listen to a lot of people. It allowed me to do the things that I do today. So I'm grateful for that. But I learned, and through this working on stage, it just stretched my limits. And today I can just perform and speak, and you don't see me as an introvert, you just see me. Sometimes I will be more quiet because I choose so, because this is how I feel in this situation, and sometimes I will speak more because that fits to this situation, and I enjoy that more. So I choose whatever I want to feel in each situation that I'm going to.
That's incredible. Yeah, I would have never guessed that you were an introvert after how you hold yourself on the podcast and seeing some of your videos. So that's definitely surprising. And Yuval, I know we gave you a little bit of homework before the episode. Parker and I have a segment we like to call your mental motto. You're a mentalist, so this is going to be a very, very cool motto, I imagine. We haven't heard it, so we'll do a little drum roll. But Yuval, what is your mental motto?
My mental motto is very simple, and it's 2 words. Take responsibility. And it connects to everything that we just spoke about holding the remote control of your life and choose the channels that you want to watch, choose the channels that you want to live at. It's in your choice, your hands. If you're taking responsibility, you stop blaming others in your problems because you're the one who have to solve them. And if you solve your problems, you just keep moving forward and you feel less fear, because you are excited to see what's next. You're always progressing. So take responsibility on your life. Don't blame other people for your problems. Solve them and keep moving forward. That's the trick.
That's a beautiful mental motto. Absolutely beautiful. And that remote analogy with the TV is something that's going to stick in my mind for a long time. I love how you broke that down. That really resonated with me. I love it.
Well, if you don't take responsibility for the things that go around in your life, you're going to be waiting a hell of a long time for the other person to take responsibility for your life. You may be waiting your whole entire life. So I love that. I think that's such a
definitely
powerful mental motto.
And for the people who watch and say that sometimes they don't want to take responsibility and they want to just lay on their back with their hands behind their head. Take responsibility also on that, about releasing everything and having fun and enjoy. It's in your choice. You're the leader. You choose whatever you want to do.
Love that.
It's beautiful. Yuval, thank you so much for coming on and sharing so many words of wisdom with Elevation Nation. You know, the impact that you have. I know you're going around the world, but there are a lot of young people that listen to this podcast that are looking for some inspiration and someone to help them change their realities, and they might be in a tough place. So I hope you know that you made an impact not only on Parker and myself, but on all of Elevation Nation with some of the lessons that you taught us today. We are going to link to all of your content so Elevation Nation can follow you and learn more from you throughout the years. And I cannot wait to see you in DC, buy you a beer, and have you hypnotize me. We're going to make a video of it. I know Parker's hyped when you come to New York. I can't wait. That's going to be incredible, man.
We're going to do something for sure. I'm going to be first in New York, then in DC.
Oh, even better.
All right.
I wish I could be there when Sam got hypnotized. I think that would be the funniest thing ever. Oh, man.
Who said that you haven't been hypnotized this whole podcast already?
We could have been.
We might be. We might be. You never know. Yuval, thank you so much. Elevation Nation.
Very much.
We love you guys. Until next week. Peace.